Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Love that song. Love that intro. We are here. Mission Pro Spotlight. What's up, Mission Pro family? Those of you that are still excited for some more Mission Pro content after our awesome Tuesday show where we broke down all the releases, welcome back, fam. We're so excited to have you. Angel Marie, the most deadly woman with a kendo stick flag. How you doing?
I am doing great today. You know, I really like rain, just not when it's extremely, pouring downfall. And that's kind of what it's doing right now. So I'm kind of thrown for a loop here, but it's fine. Whatever. Show goes on.
Show goes on, and hopefully it doesn't mess with your internet. But we are excited because no thunderstorm, no torrential downpour can put a blemish on our guests at this time. Our guests this evening, two true family members of Mission Pro, two huge supporters of women's wrestling, especially in Texas, and two of the coolest people on the interwebs, despite what some people may say, certain spicy people may say. These are two of the coolest people. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our guests at this time from CCG.
Yo,
Big Mike and that guy Tommy, what is cracking?
What's up? I don't remember laughing that hard.
Bro, we got a whole entrance video. What's up?
That's crazy.
Of course, and that is for y'all right there. By the way, I like the key sword you have there, Tommy.
Thank you, sir. Nice. Thank you. I have 3 of them. This is the first one I ever bought.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure there's a story, but we can get to those stories. We'll get to Jason Knight in the chat, like the intro.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Check it out. Look at this. The fans are going nuts.
We have fans? Oh.
Angel's already here.
Yeah.
That means like 3 other people. So
yeah.
There we go. Awesome. We're so excited.
Anyone who knows which Keyblade this is. Point to anyone who knows which Keyblade this is.
I'm going to say Kingdom Hearts, the original Kingdom Hearts.
It's from 2. It's from the second.
Oh, it is from 2. Okay.
It's from 2. Okay. Yeah. This one and I have the other one. Where'd it go? There it is.
All right, we'll do a super chat party for anybody in the chat that can guess specifically.
Tommy, someone has specifically asked you to tell Callie and Tita they said hi, so
I will not.
Yeah, that's a smart idea, Jenna.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna. And Phantasm corrects me. It's called a Keyblade. I stand corrected. I apologize. And that apologies there. So, Big Mike, let me check with you real first, and then Tommy, how are you doing? How is CCG? And are you keeping up with all the incredible? Is this a golden era to be a wrestling fan right now, especially in Texas?
Mike, you got to answer that.
Yes. I mean, in San Antonio alone, wrestling's going crazy on the local scene. Doing incredible. Coming up next week, we got a United 210 show hybrid. RCW was just a couple of weeks ago. We're waiting for Mission Pro to officially come back. And then, of course, like in the bigger sense on TV, like WWE's doing good things, TNA's doing good things, AEW. So, yeah, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan here in Texas and hopefully everywhere.
Absolutely. Tommy, do you agree? Do you concur that this is a golden age to be a wrestling fan right now?
Oh, 100%. This is the best it's been since I honestly believe since WCW and ECW closed down, because you have way more alternatives now. Now, that being said, I think it really was picking up in 2002 when TNA and ROH started, but they weren't really big enough to be considered full alternatives. They were just like more like extra indies at the time, I'd say. And you know, indies with super strength, but still indies nonetheless. But now you have AEW, which is on national TV. TNA is still technically doing its own thing for now. And then you have rumors of other people wanting to start companies. Like I know it hasn't been said in a while, but I remember there was a rumor Freddie Prinze Jr. wanted to start his own wrestling company.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm assuming silence is a good thing, because like sometimes all this stuff happens behind the scenes and you can't talk about it until it actually happens. So I'm assuming that's probably still the plan. But then you have, you know, things but now streaming is a thing. You can watch pretty much anything all over the world, and all you got to do is just, you know, pay a subscription fee for once a month. So yeah, this is
especially the Title Match Network.
Title Match Network. I mean,
the library right there. Thank you, Title Match Network.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy to think that I actually do have commentary on Title Match Network right now. Like I at least
great at it too.
Wait, who's in that match? Was
there was someone in one of those matches who was really short. She's very annoying. Did I mention she was short? Because like, God, she's short. It's like, if you take a Lego and put it next to her, you're like, why is that Lego so big? But,
let's just say she's not allowed in the 5-foot section of the pool, I guess you could say. So.
Did she allowed near a pool? Because I figured she would just drop immediately, you know, because you know, anyway, I can't remember what that girl's name is, but anyway, moving on.
Jeez.
But to completely answer the question, and not just worldwide, but yeah, in Texas, because you know we Mike mentioned those groups. There's also I think it's Assault Championship Wrestling or something like that runs on the other side of town. Always, Jenna, it'll never stop. This goes on forever.
It's just joke. I mean, Callie. I mean, for Tommy, it's real. I just like making.
She hates me too. Don't act like this is one-sided. She hates me. Don't act like oh, it's just me who's me. No, she hates me.
That's fair.
Anyway, like I said, there's also Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, which runs usually a Big's Burger joint run by.
And now they're connected to NWA.
They're not. Yeah. So
Princessa.
Yeah. And then of course, you know, with me. Having friends in the Austin and DFW area, there's Baracho Pro, there's Inspire, and in Austin, DFW, they got VIP, which is just killing the game. Three of their students have been all over the world just this past week, with even Alejandra representing MLW in CMLL, which is huge, by the way, which I don't think people are talking enough about.
No,
but no, we were in this age of wrestling where. You know, it's funny. My family asks me all the time, "Is wrestling that big in San Antonio?" And I told them, I think you can count on like one hand the number of weekends in a calendar year there isn't wrestling in San Antonio, and you might still have fingers left just because everyone wants to run that often. So,
absolutely.
Honestly, this is like a slow weekend, I think, because there's something happening.
And aren't you excited? Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff are going to start a wrestling promotion, and I hear that they're actively trying to recruit the great wrestler Benjamin Shelton. I hear that they're trying to recruit Benjamin Shelton.
Okay. First of all, yeah, Bischoff and Hogan running a wrestling company. That hasn't gone wrong twice in a row. To the point where they actually tanked one company and damn near tanked another. Secondly, Shelton Benjamin is the GOAT because he, under no uncertain terms, said, "We're not cool. Don't act like we're cool," and never mention my name.
But that was Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin Shelton, I think he means somebody completely different, right?
You know what? I will actually watch their program if on the first episode they debut a black guy named Benjamin Shelton and just who looks like almost exactly like Shelton.
I like how he had.
Because bad racism to me is funny. It's like when you're so racist, you're bad at it. Then I find it hilarious.
He had to say, "Get my name right" before you stop saying it, please. Like that's a whole other level.
That's a level of petty I aspire to. Let me tell you right now. Like,
get the name right before you get my name out your mouth. I love that meme. Yeah, I mean, and what's Hogan gonna call it? The "This Doesn't Work for Me, Brother" network, or
man?
I legitimately thought I heard it was going to be like Greco-Roman type wrestling or something. I heard it was going something different. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, like that is freestyle. So I don't know if is that going to be more collegiate style? I mean, is that going to be like Perk Angle coming out and wrestling, going crazy?
Even Kurt Angle's like, leave me the hell out of this. I got one. You know what's funny? You know what this reminds me of? And I honestly mean this. This kind of reminds me of like when every single movie studio was trying to do what the MCU did. Let me explain. So WWE is doing fine now. AEW is still doing good despite what the internet will try to convince you of. They're not hurting. The Warner Brothers Discovery is not at all saying, "Oh, we're going to cancel you." And they're like, "Nope, keep going. We're fine. We're making money. You're making money. Let's keep going." And so it's like everyone is trying to do like trying to follow that same formula, like everyone tried to do with the MCU. MCU slowly built up and then made billion-dollar movies like every other year. That's what everyone's trying to do now. They're trying to copy. Oh, AEW did it, so we can do it. And no one's taking the time to realize why it worked. Just like they did with the MCU.
They tried that with those monster movies. Remember they tried to build a
dark universe. Yeah.
Oh my God! Here's the worst part. I wanted that dark universe to work so bad. And then the Mummy came out. And I was horribly disappointed. Michael.
No, Mike.
I mean, you could say that, Mike, but I got receipts for mine, so I don't know.
I can't believe he came in here to say that.
Of course he came in here to say that. But when you're the number one Mike for Cali, does that really mean anything? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, not to me it doesn't, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Awesome.
Scroll my phone here. Okay.
We want to make sure we want to give you both a chance to prove that you're number one supporters of Mission Pro and RCW and all the promotions out there. Ooh. And truly, you have been very. We joke around, but for the real, the two of you have been huge supporters of Mission Pro. Mike, before we get to that opportunity, I did want to ask. There was a moment where Denise Day, she had this incredible match, and I think it was with Angel Blue. I think it was that Angel Blue match where they took that bump on the chairs outside the ring.
I just saw the clip I recorded of that yesterday.
At the end, she sought you out, Mike, and gave you a big hug, and that was such a genuine, cool moment. What was going on? What was going on
Tommy,
with that?
Can I share the story? Because here's
absolutely.
Let's see with Denise Day. Like 2 years ago, she came up from Laredo with I think the coach from 5 Star.
Yeah,
and she was at Hybrid at it's Spartan.
What's it? Spartan. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't remember his name. It was Spartan.
And so we didn't know who she was after her match. They were around ringside. And as far I think Tommy may have talked to her more, but like.
But just like one time, but not just like one time more than you. That's about it.
And I was just like, hey, good match, nice to see you, whatever. And then a couple months later, she was at Branded Outlaw Wrestling where Tommy was doing work. He was a cameraman doing stuff. And this is legitimately what I remember happening. After the show, I'm there with Tommy, Jason, some other guys were talking. She walks up to us and basically says, hey, guys, we're all best friends. And we're like, all right, we're in.
All right.
And she adopted us. And pretty much since then, we've just been really close with her and been a huge supporter of her. I came up with since day one.
He actually did come up with that. Like,
that's tremendous, though. Yeah.
So, and she was like, "Can I use it?" I was like, "Yeah, go for it."
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just been really awesome. We're trying to get her up here to San Antonio on a more permanent basis. Yeah, and so we're just really proud of her, and she's been doing awesome. So just after that match, like it was hard hitting, and we still not sure why she likes us, but. She does, and we're all family.
In a weird way, she kind of kidnapped us, and we just kind of said, "Okay,
yeah, no ransom note needed." You guys just like, "All right, we'll stay there.
We're in, sure."
Yeah,
and it's interesting too because Texas seems like kind of a new mecca for independent wrestling, especially for women's wrestling. Kaya Dream, moved to Texas, and now look at her career. She's skyrocketing. You know, she's and just the levels of opportunity, the opportunity that's out there, I think is tremendous. So,
and you know what's?
I'm sorry, I was gonna say real quick. Kai Dream is one person who, if she signed in the next year, I would not be surprised in the least bit. It just makes sense.
And it's crazy because back with Mission Pro, we had her and Maya on the show after they had won the titles because Kaya was the mystery partner.
Yep.
And then they were going on to face, I think, the Queen Bees at the next show. And the thing was, Kaya was at that time like in Georgia or Florida, wherever she was.
Florida, I think, yeah.
And so we were talking to them like, hey, how are y'all like getting on the same page when you're not in the same city? And they're like, no, we're working it out. And I don't know if y'all remember what happened.
Yeah.
Really go well.
They lost the titles and Maya was not happy about it.
Yeah, Maya had some thoughts.
A few. She had a few.
Gave her some soul food, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well, that is also interesting too. Do you kind of jumping on the topic of tag teams? It feels like it's really hard to keep a consistent female tag team on the indies, you know, especially when it comes to booking. And I feel like AEW and WWE, I don't know how like I've been wanting AEW to get women's tag team belts for some time. It kind of looks like WWE treats the women's tag belts kind of as an afterthought. Do you think there's room to really push women's tag team wrestling?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you think it's causing them to not like it, to shy away from it?
And here's what's kind of funny, because we were talking last night on our show about like how much, because we were talking about the releases too. We were talking about how much WWE has right now, like the number of people they have. Like they have plenty of time, plenty of shows. If they really wanted to be serious about women's tag teams, I think part of it, like I don't know how long you've been watching wrestling, but you remember back in the 80s when there were legitimate tag teams. They had a group name.
Demolition.
They looked the same. Demolition, British Bulldogs, Heart Foundation, Rockers. And yes, eventually, like one of them wants to, you know, they see one of them as like a breakout star as a singles. But I think they really, like in the mid to late 90s, really put into overdrive, like every tag team, one of them is going to be a star. We're going to break them up early. We're going to get that solo star out of there. And so I think in general, just tag teams have not been as consistent. Like there's still some, you know, there's the Hardys, but you know, they've had solo runs. Motor City Machine Guns who are back in WWE now, but you know, they've been a great tag team and they've had a lot of solo runs. And so like with the women already on top of like not using them as often as they should, we talked about all the women that were left off WrestleMania, you know, doing stuff that, you know, the way they treated Bayley. So it's disappointing. And even if you look at the history of WWE's women's tag teams, you know, Bayley and Sasha, when they first got them, wanted to do a lot with them, and they didn't really let them. They wanted to go to NXT and defend them everywhere. And then you put them on the Iconics, which we were like, at first, honestly, when that happened, I was like, what are y'all doing? And then I was like, okay, these are two of the funniest.
Yeah.
Like they're entertaining. And then that didn't last long. And it just, they always want to break them up for some reason, and they never keep them consistently going for a while.
Yeah, do you and the decision to put the belts back on Liv and Raquel, and then Liv is going to take some time off, and to instigate the Becky versus Lyra. You know, Angel, you and I were talking about this, about how that would Angel, do you still feel like that was premature, or do you feel like it's working now for Becky and Lyra?
I mean, man, I don't know. It was really random. I was like, you put them together at the last second, and you have them win over a already established team for how many months at that point? So, I mean, it's kind of working, I guess. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I still can't get over the fact that like, how does that work? And then they win the titles back within like a few days. Just doesn't, I don't know.
Tommy, does that fit with that whole afterthought thing with the women's tag titles?
Oh man, 100%. Because okay, in full disclosure, Mike is a way bigger Bayley fan than I am, but I do think she's amazing. But I'm just making it clear that Mike is a much bigger Bayley fan than me, and then not to call him out, but it's, yeah. But my thing is that even if I wasn't a Bayley fan, as a pro wrestling fan, you cannot deny that the success they had during the pandemic era was almost solely due to Bayley. I don't care who doesn't like I said that. I do not care. Go back and watch. Yeah. Go back and watch. Yeah, go back and watch every single segment Bayley was. She was killing it in that era. It was one of those eras where if the men were not doing good enough, that's okay. Bayley will take up their slack legitimately. And I do not like, because even after watching her interview with CVV recently, I do not like that she's not seen as big a star as the others.
Yeah, that's puzzling.
And it also saddens me. This seems like the only friend that she really who would always vouch for her isn't even in the company anymore. And I mean Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, because Bayley's done it all, won all the belts, won Royal Rumble. And yet she ain't main evented WrestleMania yet. Not saying the others didn't deserve it. They did. So does Bayley. And I do not get how this whole thing worked. The afterthought with the tag title is so ridiculous. And proving the point further, why would Jakara Jackson and Cora Jade release exactly? What sense does that make?
None. Exactly. First they break up Metaphor just nonchalantly, like, all right.
Matter of fact, did they even officially do that? Because I didn't even know
wasn't they literally just like them standing there going, "Oh, I guess we're going to go our own way"?
They were welcoming back Noam Dar. They were like sitting on a couch together, and they're welcoming him back, and they're just saying, they're like, "Yeah, so hey, it's glad to see we're all back together again. So yeah, I think this is a good time for us to go our separate ways." And they're all like, "All right."
Is that literally how they did that?
That's essentially That's essentially how it was. It was very, very frustrating.
Man, I hate WWE sometimes. I really try, but they really, really push it. They really stress me out. Okay.
It does stress out. But yeah, I think it's always frustrating too when you see these hard workers that are putting in all the effort, and and then these decisions that just kind of get made, and you're like, wait, what happened to them? It's Meta 2 now. I like that. That's a good point, Jenna. So we do have an opportunity to prove why Big Mike is the number one Mike, and that Tommy is number one in the eyes of even the spicy one, or at least she tells him he's number one with hand signals.
She does
with one particular finger.
She tells me all the time.
Yeah, you're in my number one guy.
It's a short finger, so it's hard to tell. So.
And you guys can play along in the chat, but we have ourselves. It's time for the hot seat. Ooh. And feel the heat. This is Texas Wrestling Trivia. Now, you both are going to be working together, so it's not competition with each other. So
okay, good.
You can answer those questions.
All right, carry the team, Tommy.
Absolutely. So, Angel's going to ask the first, third, and fifth question, and then I'll ask the even-numbered questions.
Okay.
And
so you've got the odds, Angel.
Yeah, there's 5 and then a bonus. Yeah,
I know. I know what numbers are.
I'm just playing.
All right, so here we go. Feel the heat, Texas Wrestling, and play along in the chat. The first question, Angel Marie.
All right. Which Texas-based wrestling school operated by Dustin Rhodes emphasizes training for women's wrestling and has contributed to AEW's women's division? Is it the Texas Wrestling Academy? Are you kidding me right now?
I was trying to talk with you,
Oh, my word. Is it the Texas Wrestling Academy, the Hybrid School of Wrestling, or the Rhodes Wrestling Academy?
What do you think?
I was gonna, but I really already know the answer to this one. I kind of knew it before you finished the question.
Well, I mean, the name is in the school.
True, but I saw the symbol first before she even said the name. So, Rhodes Wrestling Academy.
Yeah.
Ooh, is it your final answer?
It is. Mike, you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, because I was going to say, if Dustin Rhodes was at Hybrid and we haven't seen him this whole time,
I would be I would text Marvel right now if Rhodes was at Hybrid. He never and okay, and funny enough, we talked about this off camera. I actually do have a story about that.
Of course.
I honestly thought that was a joke that I wouldn't actually get to say, but I actually have a story about this. So when BOW was running, a few guys, in particular, Mike Hit is one of them.
Of course, tall guy.
Tall dude.
Yes.
Yeah, they weren't able to really wrestle anywhere else because they were still students, of course. So they weren't really. But BOW, we were kind of like what, Switzerland in a way. We're just kind of like neutral territory. Everybody wanted to come in. So Clint, who our boss at the time, called up Dustin, said, "Hey, we're running shows if you got students," and he sent a few down. One of them, of course, was hit. Another was, of course, JL.
Yeah.
Nice.
And actually, her first championship was when she won the BOW Women's Championship. So yeah,
and we made her first merch.
we did actually make her first merch. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, actually, Mike did.
Okay, the very first one. So, okay, speaking of like a quick story, she's a heel when she's at BOW. She was like a heel champion. So again, we're talking and people come up to us. I don't know why we attract people like that. But she literally walks up to us and goes, "Oh, look at all of you guys wearing my shirt. That doesn't exist." So the next time the show, which she happened to be RCW at the hybrid school, I literally just grabbed one of my white undershirts and wrote, "This is a JL shirt." Made her first official shirt. She still has it.
And I think even she was at the hybrid show, she tried to decide if she was heel or face. She couldn't stop the smile on her face when she saw that shirt. It did. She was like, she was like, "I might be heel, but I like that." So
funny story. I tried to make a second edition with iron-on letters. Did not work very well. One of the letters fell off. That was at United. Yeah. And then finally we got JC and Tina because they have a Cricut and they can actually make decent shirts. So we made them for all the group. What show did we wear those to? Another BOW?
Yes, it was the last BOW show.
Yeah.
It was the last one.
So we've made our first several merch items.
That's tremendous. That's fantastic. I love it. You just grabbed a Sharpie and a white shirt or something. And just this is a JL shirt.
I can't believe we literally had a story for the first question. That correct.
We probably have one for every question coming.
I bet we will. All right, let's get to question number 2, and we'll find out what story awaits us
I can't wait.
after this. All right, I will read question number 2. Which reality of wrestling wrestler known as the Friday Night Light is the youngest member of the roster and aims to inspire young girls in the Diamonds division?
We both know this, right, Tommy?
Yes.
All right.
It's definitely Mia Friday.
Definitely.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is correct. Mia Friday.
Yay.
Congratulations.
The only story we have about her was, and y'all were probably there too, the Mission Pro show where her mom was there and the crowd started chanting "Mamma Mia" for her.
God, that was so fun.
That was awesome. That was fun.
I will say that my wife and stepdaughter took a liking to her immediately when they saw her.
Oh yeah, she's really awesome.
And also I think a year later she graduated high school, and I was like, "Are you telling me all this time you ain't even graduate? Girl, get out my face. Get entirely out of my face."
Just that complete Billy Starks energy of
seriously,
I'm a pro at age 16. I've been doing this for several years.
Yeah, it's
she's a really cool person.
Yeah, by the time she gets signed anywhere, she's gonna be telling the people who've been there 10 years, "No, this is how I do it." They're gonna be like, "Damn it, she does it better than we do." How old is she again? 22.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like a 27-year-old 10-year veteran.
Yeah.
Seriously, no, she's gonna go to walk in. Undertaker, even Undertaker's gonna be like, "Damn, that's impressive." Hey,
kids,
step up.
That's gonna be Mia.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the one these kids nowadays.
Yeah.
You're 21.
You young.
To be fair, I'm sure Roxanne Perez says that a lot because she's too damn good for her age. Seriously.
Oh Jesus!
I swear. Some of these kids are even Mission Pro champions. They get a Mission Pro title before their prom.
Pretty much.
Which still,
or they missed their prom to go to wrestling shows.
Yes,
so.
Or they do that too.
All right. All right.
Wonder who that could be. That's crazy.
What are we talking? We're not talking about anybody.
No. Not anyone in particular.
Yeah, Mike mentioned that randomly.
All right, well, Angel, maybe you should read question 3. We should move on.
All right. What is the name of the charity foundation supported by ROW, which keeps kids off the streets and promises a better life?
Ooh,
the Best Trained Wrestling Youth Program, Fights for Kids Foundation or Spinaroonie for the Shorties Foundation?
I feel like it's the middle one.
I feel like it's the middle one too. That last one does sound real, though. I'm not even gonna pretend like it doesn't. Like, you know.
The only reason I'm hesitant for the third one is because shawties could have a couple different meanings.
That's why I stopped.
So I think we're gonna go the second one. Booker T's Fights for Kids Foundation.
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, I agree.
All right, final answer.
Yeah.
Correct.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that one's
Spinaroonie
okay.
for the shawties is wild.
By the way, if that's not real, it should be.
One of the biggest charities out. If you're gonna get by the way, Pepe's dog is named
Nice.
Oh my God!
I respect that.
That is an incredible name, Pepe. That's awesome.
That's
Awesome.
so funny.
Any Booker T stories or any Spinaroonie stories? Actually, Pepe gave us.
Damn it! I have a Booker T story.
Oh my
There we
gosh.
go. I knew it.
Damn it! I was trying to think. No, I don't have it. Yes, I do. I met him at a con once before. I think it was before he started ROW. This was like early 2010s, I think. And it was after he left WWE, before he started ROW, and I was talking to him and about about the passings of Eddie and Chris, and he was just saying how much that really affected him and his decision to kind of go to TNA at the time, because it all that stuff kind of really hit him kind of hard. And I mean, of course it did. Those are probably his really good friends. Is not almost the best friend, but so I can't really have a Booker T story too. Damn it.
Well, back in 2000, when did TNA bring Victory Road to Houston? Because I think it was him and Joe, right? Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, we were there at that. I didn't get.
You were there at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about as close as I get to a story for that one.
Yeah.
All good. Well, make sure you donate to Spinaroonie for the Shouties.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Thanks, not Jenna. Yeah, we're old. Also, the early 2010s being old is, you don't even understand how.
Yeah,
depressing.
Jenna, you're a freaking young chick. You're too young. Get off of here.
Jenna's insulting Tio Frio here too. I'm a little slighted here,
Listen, my birthday's Saturday, so that's not helping me at all right now. So.
Happy birthday,
Angel. How old is it going to be?
Don't ask.
What is it like 85?
Wow. I will be 37.
No, are you sure you didn't get a few years off?
I'm more than positive I know when my birthday.
In all fairness, Tommy, 85, like a prime candidacy for politics. So get in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Pope, apparently. Anyway.
That's wild.
Oh wow, Pope Tommy.
Nah, there will be too many wrestling and anime references in all of my
Now I just want to see a Pope-a-Rooney.
Pope-a-Rooney. Dominus Tope.
Nope. Okay, no. Pope-a-Rooney's hands out the best joke all here tonight.
Can you dig that, Catholic?
Yeah, dig it.
Come out to preach.
Oh, Lord.
Wow, Jason.
Jason!
I mean, it's kind of true, but.
Come on, man. If you've ever done pre-cal, you understand the struggle. Except for Mike, because you're a freaking big brain genius or something like that, and you can teach it somehow. I don't get pre-cal. It's weird.
And Jenna's coming for you too. Look at this,
man. Wow, so this is what happens to Angel with she does to me in our chat. It's so funny to see it from this side. That's amazing.
Oh wow, you old man.
Oh wow, person who has bad at math.
Oh,
hey, whoa, Pepe. No need to say fight here. Let's calm down, sir.
Yeah, let's not go out at. Oh no! Now we're going Fortnite. Okay, we better move on to the next.
Literally, no, completely off topic. You drove me into a tree on Fortnite. Be so for real.
All right. Well,
I'm just gonna big eat with popcorn here. Okay.
All right. Yeah, right. All right. Question 4.
Oh,
Which currently signed WWE talent was not part of the inaugural Mission Pro Wrestling event Genesis?
Tommy, you know this, don't you?
I do know this one. Yeah.
Was it Maddie Rinkowski, Roxy, or Nikita Lyons?
The answer is Nikita Lyons.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
All right, bonus question. On whose shoulders did Roxy ride to the ring on?
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's crap. H2Easy. It was not Hyder, but
I'm giving you guys a hint.
Jay.
Oh,
Harlow.
never mind. Well, hold on. With this hit, now I'm thinking someone else. But
Oh, was it? Wait.
was it Saint/Starks?
Was it Starks?
Well, it was the former Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saint.
Wow. I forgot. I
Yep,
totally forgot
that
about
was
that.
long. Yep, that was a long time
Okay.
ago. Long time.
I feel like Harlow told us something about someone riding on his shoulders. That's why it made me think of that. But
They probably did that too.
This
But
is
Yeah.
long before Chicken Jockey was the sensation.
Angel, be quiet. Don't start.
Chicken Jockey.
He does this all the time, guys. Please stop with the freaking slang.
Oh no.
hilarious.
Hey, I do play Minecraft, so I'm like I know about that. I'm an expert at the
He just doesn't understand the skibbity. So you know,
Riz.
Oh, stop!
very, very Ohio of him. So
That's a generation under me, bro. I'm not that young.
Hilarious.
Well, Thunder Rosa does call me mid runner, so I guess
we've heard that. Yeah.
I can embrace that as well. All right, let's get to the next question. All right, Angel, you ready to read?
Yep. All right. Which United 2-0 wrestling event featured a war game style clash between the Texas Kingdom against the Texas Treats?
War Games. That was
This is
the middle one.
This is all I said. This is almost a trick question, but it is the middle one.
Because that was in the cage. That was Mama Bash 3.
That
Back
was
in the
Mama Bash
yard was
3.
just in the yard.
Back at the yard was just Mama Stash telling them, "You can play in my yard. If you break my fence, I'm gonna whoop all of you."
Yeah, we're in the heat now. We're in the heat now. Is a little older, so
Yeah.
Mama Bash 3.
Mama Bash 3.
Mama Bash 3, final answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Mamba Bash 3. Very good, very good.
If you go, I don't remember what clip it is. It might be the clip for that match. I think the thumbnail is Ridley in front of us with Tommy's sign for the Texas Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
fine. That King Cobra later ripped up because he was just mad because he lost the match.
Yeah, well, for someone who calls himself Mr. United 210 who like hasn't really won there or done anything there, that's crazy. So.
I mean, the Hyder and Harlow called themselves the men of Mission Pro and barely did anything worthwhile. Anyway, moving on.
Moving right along.
One of them did get shopping carted into a door, so
And then tied to the ring post, so we took selfies.
Tremendous.
yeah.
Tremendous.
Good times.
Beautiful.
Oh, good times.
He went on to slap Lance Archer in the face at Ring of Honor. And
That's a very bad idea. As a person who has beef with Lance Archer,
Wait, is that why he hasn't come back to Texas lately?
that was the last we saw of him. Yeah.
I mean, when Lance Archer chokeslams you, a lot of your life decisions become rethought.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that. You might want to know how I got to this position. Well, I made a few mistakes along the way.
Or the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like dun, 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 dun.
Jenna, please don't tell us we're not Skibbity, all right? We're Sigma, so don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're bussing.
Yeah.
Jenna, what are you even? Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
I'm a high school teacher. I know all of it, man. I keep
I
informed.
know you do.
All right, the bonus question. Here we go.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
who's the first unified women's campeona for RCW?
Connections. Break.
No, you get back on camera, Tommy, and you have to admit this on camera. Get
No, I don't.
back on camera, you old man.
I gotta admit, Jack.
Actually, you're on technically our show, so you do.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah. You can phone a friend. Yeah, we.
Oh
you can
my
phone a
gosh.
friend.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
I'm
phone
sorry.
Tommy.
Pass.
I refuse to answer under the Fifth Amendment.
Wow,
Well,
not
I'm sorry,
the Fifth
you don't win
Amendment,
the
not you
grand prize. The answer, of course, is Calientita.
Yeah, you lost.
Do we have
You
proof of
literally
that?
lost.
I mean, there was a question mark next to her name for like 8 months. So
Okay, well now there's not.
This photo actually shows her with both belts. So, and
Hey,
we did have a video.
I just
Now,
thought she was so small the one belt looked that huge. I didn't.
Wow.
They doing crazy stuff with AI these
Yeah,
days.
Michael, man, don't believe
Yeah.
these AI videos. That's
AI be crazy
Wow.
nowadays.
Did you see our intro? We didn't laugh like that in real life. That was just AI
it's
be
amazing
crazy.
what can happen.
Exactly.
Photoshop and AI, just about anything.
Michael May, there's AI out there if you say nice things about Ridley, but we know that's not true. So
Shots
That's wild.
Shots fired. Awesome.
That was fun.
Well, we'll give you that was the bonus question. So you did get the first 5 questions correct. So
No, they lost.
Your text is true, but I know
like the way Callie lost her hybrid title to Key, or
Oh my gosh, we're not talking about that. Let's not bring multiple friends in.
We had Pink on our show, and she told us officially that the RCW Angels title has now been put back in the vault, so it is still Callie one belt, and that's it.
So she can borrow my belt. Duh. Hello.
I had a joke loaded and ready, but I decided not to pull the trigger.
The belt for your jeans? What are you talking about?
Oh wow.
Oh lordy. Well, I'll tell you what.
That's cute.
Let's move on. We have a lot. We'd love for you guys to get your thoughts on the week in women's wrestling news. There's been a lot going on. So without further ado, let's get to the women's wrestling news segment. All right, kicking off, we had a tremendous match. Io Sky versus Roxy. Of course, Roxanne Perez, for those of you that are not familiar. But she had a great match. And then at the end of the match, it was a tremendous match. It almost seemed like Roxy was giving a sign of respect, and poor Io, she just didn't see it coming. Giulia comes out. Roxy's new blue-haired friend, as Cora Jade has now left. They're kind of. What do you think of that? Let me start with Mike and then Tommy. What do you think of this pairing of Roxy and Giulia? Are they officially full-time main roster? What's going on? And do you like this kind of one?
I mean, honestly, at this point, it really feels like they both should. I mean, Roxanne definitely, but they should both be main roster. Considering Roxanne's been in the last 3 Royal Rumbles before she's officially been considered main roster is crazy, especially when we talk about how young she is. But if you follow her, it really feels like she's done what she's needed to do in NXT. It seemed like a natural place for her to move on, and then they just keep her back. Now, I like the team together. They are both really good.
Yeah.
At being evil, just the way she faked being nice to her, and then, hey, Trent, how's it going? But yeah, I really hope it's main roster full time soon enough. So it should be. What
say you, Tommy?
I agree with everything Mike said. I like this idea. Been following Giulia ever since her Stardom days. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not against really talented people going to NXT first. I get that, but my brain constantly goes back to when AJ Styles got signed, and the first thing they did was put him in the Royal Rumble, and he was main roster immediately. Whereas for some reason Shinsuke Nakamura had to go to NXT. I didn't get that. And I kind of don't get why Giulia and Stephanie Vaquera had to go to NXT first. I don't quite know why they didn't get to the main roster immediately. But that's just my feel. I'm not saying that it hasn't worked out and it hasn't been they haven't had great matches, because they have. I'm just saying I didn't get that move. With Roxanne, what more does she have to do in NXT? What has she not done there? That's her to keep her down there. I mean, It looked like she was about to have a whole feud with, was it Bailey?
Bailey, yeah.
Yeah, like for WrestleMania, and that's like it looked like they were shaping up, and then for no reason they just took a left and then didn't do that. And
They
I was
even
like,
set up Alexa Bliss and Roxy at one point.
Yeah, they
from the chamber
like,
and stuff.
Yeah, I don't get why they just won't pull the trigger on her yet. I don't know what she has to do. Like, and then when she pops back up at NXT after being on Raw, I'm like, but she was. What do you want this girl to do? So I'm so confused.
I think we're all in the same boat with that confusion. But I am liking Io Sky. I think, Angel, do you agree Io Sky is champion? And do you like this kind of matchup with Giulia and Roxy?
Yeah, I do. And honestly, just a little side note, I love Io. Like, she goes out there and she does whatever. And she does the little point thing. I love her so much. Like, that's so cutesy. And I just, I see Io holding the belt for like a good couple months, honestly.
At one point in her career, and I think still to this day, Dave Meltzer called her Mayu Iwatani, and I forget who it was Kairi Sane, Kairi Hojo.
Yeah,
he called them the three best wrestlers in wrestling right now, and it wasn't even the close competition to him. He said if there are three, if he could name the three best wrestlers right now, it was those three, and they have never proven him wrong in that. Like, no matter where they're at, what they're doing. I mean, Io still had one of the best matches at all WrestleMania weekend, and no one can take that from them.
That still frustrates me the way they built to that.
True. The bill was frustrating.
They made Rhea look not Rhea-esque. They literally pushed Io to the side, and then they had, like you said, one of the best matches of the weekend, if not the best match, and she came out the winner. So
best match with the worst build.
Yeah.
I do like the way that Io stopped taking their crap.
Yeah.
Did a drop kick. That's the whole, like, I'm the champion. You take me seriously kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. Then we've got now this is interesting because we've got Jade and Tiffy time, but also not pictured in here who kind of circulate this whole thing. Nia Jax and of course the caution tape queen herself. Well, I still think of her as Trinity, but Naomi.
Naomi, yeah.
Thinking about this, is this going to turn into some kind of fatal four-way? And is this the best version of Nia Jax that she's had in her career?
I honestly think so. Yeah, I feel like she's having the most fun, and I feel like it's because she's wrestling the people she legitimately gets along with. Like, it's that factor. It's the fact that Naomi is fully embracing this psychotic gimmick, which I am thoroughly enjoying. So because I've always thought she's underrated. Like I'm sure everyone here does. She's been underrated for a long time. But now when she did this, that promo she cut before Mania, where she was just talking to the camera, I was like, do not change anything and let this woman go. Let her be this insane craziness she's doing, and good God, no one stop her. So yeah.
I mean, we're not much for hyperbole here on Mission Pro Spotlight, not at all. But should there be a category in the Emmys for wrestling promos, and why should Naomi be the one to win the first one?
I think her and Paul Heyman are neck and neck for the best ones right now. And answer the first question, yes, there should be, because I think many have proven pro wrestling is art, no matter how you look at it. So I'm just saying, when stunt people becomes a category in the Oscars that should be one already, the second stunt people get one, pro wrestling should get one.
There you go.
And I'm going to stand by that. I don't care what nobody says.
I want to get Mike's thoughts on this whole interaction, but we got to hear it, Angel. We got to hear your Tiffy time.
It's Tiffy time.
There we go. All right.
I feel like I haven't said that in so long too, honestly.
Right? I know. But it's Tiffy time, Big Mike. What are your thoughts? And is Tiffy, in light of the whole Charlotte Flair feud, is Tiffy in over her head, or is she right where she needs to be?
So the thing that I've kind of felt with Tiffany since she's won the title that they need to be careful of is, I feel like they see her as one of these to kind of be the next, in like a Cena, or kind of one of those people that could be a face of their division. And what they have to be careful of is getting her away from what made her popular in the first place. Because when you start kind of becoming that face of the company. You kind of have to change the way you do things a little bit.
Mhm.
And, her being kind of the rich, stuck-up girl who could basically back up everything and, had a lot of attitude was a big part of why people, fell in love with her. And then, she could hit the moonsault and do all that crazy stuff. So I definitely think she's earned where she's at, and she is that good. I think they just got to be careful with that because there's always that. It's easy when you're in that role for the fans to start turning on you because it's getting away from what they loved.
Yeah.
With Jade, she's a genetic freak. Like, it's crazy everything she does. It's still, like, she had a good match with Naomi at WrestleMania. But I don't think long, drawn-out matches is still going to be what she should be doing right now. So I think they got to be careful with that. I do think this last run that Nia Jax's been on, even when she had the title previously, has been her best, especially when you consider how much guff she got her first run for injuring people, seeming like she didn't care. Been a lot better.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
dude?
how's it going, D?
Ah!
But yeah, no, I think they have a good little story going on here. Like you said, Naomi too. I honestly, when that whole story started, I was disappointed. I really thought it was going to be Bianca that be the one that turned on Jade.
Yeah.
And I thought, but no, like you said, Naomi embraced it. She's gone full crazy, and it's working now. So
We got a question in the chat from one of our expert panelists
wow.
here. Has Tommy admitted to loving Callie yet?
D, I thought we were friends. D, I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool. I thought we were cool, but man, just.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
No,
Hey, we got Brian in the chat. What's up, Brian?
Brian, what's up, man? Miss you, brother.
Good to see BC in the chat. And of course, Jenna says, "I'm not saying Izzy isn't number one." Okay, there's argument. I think Phantasm and Jenna are getting an argument. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm loving what Naomi's doing right now. This kind of crazy, almost like written by Jordan Peele. Almost like if he was.
Oh my God, that's such a good comparison. I didn't even think of that.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, "Oh, this is Jordan Peele's next." He needs to do a haunted, possessed wrestler character, but not in the traditional dementia from Glow or whatever, but just that when she came out was the other night with the black under her eyes and just was kind of like she crawled out from the ring. I thought that was fantastic.
I mean, pro wrestling movies are slowly making a comeback. Had Iron Claw, Queen of the Ring. I mean, Jordan Peele. Somebody called that man because he's a horror genius.
Yeah, none of them can touch Ready to Rumble though, but still,
of course.
I mean, classics are classics.
Exactly.
I didn't say beat out the best. I just said that they're making a comeback.
Foreign objects.
Yeah.
All right, it's official.
Just heard about this.
It is official. And they teased it last night on Dynamite. I actually missed it the first time, but they had a little spider kind of animation hinting that Thekla is coming, the toxic spider, but it is official. Tommy, how familiar are you, and are you a Thekla fan?
Extremely familiar, and I am very much a Thekla fan. I got to see clips of her when she first joined. I forget which faction it was in Stardom. But then I quickly became a fan because Donna Del Mondo. That's what she joined first. Donna Del Mondo. And then when they, of course, broke up, she went to I think she went to Hate, or I can't remember which one she went to. But yeah, I'm a huge Thekla fan. I knew in Stardom's last big show they had a couple people leave her, Mayu Iwatani, who of course went to Marigold. D, love you too. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm a huge Thekla fan. I'm excited she'll be here. I know one thing wrestling fans shouldn't do is immediately say what feud they should be in, but I want her and Toni Storm in a match so bad it physically hurts me how badly I want that match.
It would be cinema.
Yes, because well, it's not just the fact that everything Toni Storm touches turns to absolute gold, and I mean that, but it's just the fact that they would have a fantastic match because they're both great top cream of the crop wrestlers. So
I hope they do with her though. I hope she gets some good matches before a major feud.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? The one thing I don't like is thrusting them right into and this is a fear that a lot of people have about the recent releases coming to AEW, are they going to get a shot, or are they just going to be fed to Mercedes Moné to lose to? And that's one of the some people are afraid of. And I'm not hating. I actually think Mercedes Moné is having a great, ever since she had that first match with Statlander, I think she's really improved in the ring. And I think, if you can handle Mercedes a certain way, I think she's got some potential. But I really hope Thekla really gets a chance to shine without that. Big Mike, your thoughts, Thekla, and where she fits in the AEW locker room?
I'll be honest. I'm not as familiar with her as Tommy is, and some of you may be. But everything I've seen since the rumors started coming down is that she's top notch. So, I know what you were saying about fearful of the recent releases signed with AEW, but AEW has such a talented roster themselves right now, and I just feel like you just got to find the right places. Like, I know for a lot of people, Mercedes wasn't hitting for a while. I think they need a keeper with Harley.
Yes,
and keep that group together, because that keeps.
1,000%.
I feel like that she can react off that so easily. I think people kind of softens her up to people when she can joke around. Like, there was one time they were going back and forth, and she did the Australian oh no, backing out of nowhere, and little stuff like that. And I think that just makes her that much more relatable, because I get to a certain extent Mercedes' character was supposed to be the big time, the superstar, you're being graced by my presence, but it didn't seem to completely hit with people. I think her and Harley, because Harley is just hilarious no matter what she does, I think that will really help both of them, in the long run. And then, like we said, like Tommy said, Toni Storm, everything she's done and touched has been gold. She's honestly on a whole other level. I can't even imagine where she comes up with the things she says for this timeless character. It's just hilarious and over the top.
She says everything that should get her canceled.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
So literally, Tommy.
Wow.
You know what? You're not wrong. You honestly, the day I get canceled, and it's coming. Don't worry, it's on its way. I won't be surprised. I'm yep, it's about time. What took y'all so long?
Cancel Geeks is going to be the new cancel.
Wow.
Canceled.
Dang.
I you know what? I would pay money to see a fan interaction with Tommy and Harley Cameron. I think.
Oh my God.
Okay, honestly, I'm not even kidding when I say I want to meet her so bad, because just the conversation I think I can have.
Yeah, Tommy's in 100%.
And then if she ever wrestles, where we could go back and forth while she's in the ring, I know I would lose, but I would try anyway. I fully accept I'm not on her level, and I accept that, but I would try anyway just to give it a shot. The promo she cut the last time she used the mini Monet, and Mercedes talked to her. She said, "Exactly, Mini Monet." And why am I talking to a puppet? I was like, well, there's your new tag team partner, Mercedes. I'm sorry,
that's the stuff.
You've already lost. She's won you over because you talked to the puppet first. And once you do that, it's over.
Yep. She went full puppet. Absolutely. Yep. She went full puppet. Speaking of the existing AEW talent, two of my favorites.
Woo!
And this is happening probably right now while we're talking. So thank you, DVR. But we've got Stat is kind of on her path of redemption and trying to kind of reconnect with Willow here, and they're having a kind of a frenemy match tonight. Do you see them reuniting and then maybe feuding with some heel wrestlers, or do you think that this is an irreparable broken friendship, Mike?
No, I honestly kind of hope they do, because I don't like the way they turned Statlander heel. They had that feud. Then it ended, and they just kind of went, all right, Statlander, your face again.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing after having built all that. But I like those two, and I like them as a team. And I was looking for a while at Statlander as one of the big faces of AEW. So I'm down with that. Willow kind of being the woman that has to fight the Death Riders, whenever she's involved, like get Statlander in on that too, because she could probably easily beat up Wheeler Yuta and
I just had a thought. Because there's it's hard to not be a wrestling fan, and when the releases happen, and you have to have compassion for how they're feeling, but it's hard not to speculate where they're going. Being Marina Shafir being one of the 4 horsewomen of MMA, and Shayna Baszler. Now, a lot of people are thinking, is she going to go join Death Riders, and are we going to have a Marina and Shayna? We could easily have them versus Willow and Stat. That would feed some families.
I am down for that one.
I'm down for that. But how hilarious is it when the person who probably will have the most personality in that tag team will be Shayna Baszler? And I'm not saying Marina Shafir doesn't have personality.
Marina Shafir, you don't know her, but you know her, but you don't know her.
But see, I'm not saying Marina Shafir doesn't have personality. What I'm saying is all the crap Shayna has had to put up with from Mia Yim, Nia Jax, insert person who makes her do a TikTok
Dakota
Kai, and insert everyone else who makes her do a TikTok here. It's just she's like gonna come out and like she's gonna say something like off the cuff, and Maria's gonna be like, "Where did you get that from?" My friends on TikTok, they made me do all this shit. And
maybe our truth rubbed off on her with it. You advised her to get some Carter's.
I love how she never breaks on camera ever until that one time our truth got her, and she was like, "I can't believe it. I can keep my face neutral through everything. Why is this man ruining my career?" Which I'm sure everyone can say about our truth. Actually,
I would love for that tandem to happen. However, there's another fan theory, fantasy booking that I really think is interesting. Shayna Baszler joining the Ops.
Oh, don't you tease me with a good time.
Right? Joe Hobbs Baszler.
Yeah, just
that sounds like a dinner I want to be at. It would be the quietest dinner ever, but I still want to go.
No, give me Joe and Shayna versus Moxley and Marina in a cage in a death match.
Yeah,
clear the arena. Just let them go like that.
Because if that happens, there is a solid 75% and above chance that Shayna could tap out Moxley. I'm sorry,
right?
The possibility is real. It's real.
and Moxley would sell the reaction. Like, you just imagine like Samoa Joe's there, and Mox and Marina are in the ring, and it says, "You go find yourself a women's wrestler from that locker room." And then all of a sudden, Shayna's whatever Ruckus has for her new music hits, and she comes walking out, the Ace of Spades. Actually, Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades. That would be tremendous.
Tony will pay for it, and it'll be better than anything Def Rebel did. So.
Right.
I mean, you're not wrong. But also with that, like he calls her out, Shayna comes out, Marina grabs his shirt. "Why did you say anyone?" And then when she taps him out backstage, Moxie's like, "Yeah, okay, so that was a little bit too tight. I was kidding when I said you could go as hard as you wanted. I didn't think you meant it."
We got it. This was our runner-up for Banger of the Week. We do want to talk about our Banger of the Week in just a moment, but the Fatal 4-Way last night, of course, anything, people are complaining that with the Owen Hart Cup tournament, Toni Storm is still having eliminator matches. To me, I'm thinking they're missing the point. The whole Owen Cup, it's for All In. It's for whoever the champion is at that point. But, you want a working champion. And, again, anything Toni Storm touches turns to gold. I like this. It set up a lot of storyline. We had an incredible, again, going back to our Harley Cameron.
Just this picture alone.
Just the determined look on Harley's facial expressions too. The way she's like, she is the wrestling embodiment of that scene in Infinity War where Mantis goes, "Kick names and take ass," and then like Drax is behind her, like like he's with it.
That's Harley Cameron in a nutshell. That's absolutely correct.
This is fantastic. Now, I do understand, and we want to wish the Guevara family congratulations, because it does sound like, and according to his vlog, it sounds like Ty has got number 2 on the way now.
Awesome.
Wow, actually,
So,
I heard that.
I think some of the rumors were that they were making room for Ty J to reunite, but with that announcement, that great news, putting Harley with Anna Jay, I think this is. What do you think, Mike? Do you think this is another situation where, Anna Jay, she went to Japan and got improved her in-ring skills, but now putting her with Harley, you think that's going to kind of help her promo skills a bit?
Yeah, 100%. I think honestly they should just casually put Harley in every storyline that they're doing, just like literally in every, no matter what comes up, like you just see her running to the next part of what she has to do, because
put her Harley Graham mask on and come back out.
Okay, that Harley Graham thing should not have worked as well as it did immediately. That should not have been as good as it was immediately. Man.
And that whole thing with Beast Mortos too, it reminded me of George the Animal Steel and Miss Elizabeth. Like it was like that whole, like I want them to continue that.
That's what I mean. Like anything they put her in, it's awesome. So yeah, like I think this is good for Anna Jay. Like it's just going to help her bring out. It should help her bring out more personality. Like just going forward. And on the other side with that group, you had Thunder and Toni, which played so well off each other and all the stuff Thunder they do. Yeah.
I mean, these, like, you actually have an opportunity for like a 3-way tag team match. Thunder Tits versus Megan Bain and Penelope, and versus TNA. Tenacity and aggression.
I feel like every idea Harley and Toni Storm have, they take it to Tony Khan. He reads it. It says, "This probably might get us canceled. Say it anyway, and let's see what happens." And then nobody stops them. And it's just like,
I've got a lot of money. Go for it.
Yeah. He looks at the paper they give him. Looks at them. Looks back at the paper. And it says, "This is a terrible idea. I love it. Say it over the live microphone. What's the worst that could happen?"
What's
and
the worst
each time
that
the crowd reacts happily and it gets tons of traction online, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to stop looking at the paper and just tell them yes from now on."
Anything they do. Well, do you remember at the scrum when Toni Storm read that limerick?
Yes.
It was what was great is she just finished talking about family fun, like it's partnering with TCM and AEW. It's good old fashioned family fun. Then there once was a man from Nantucket. It's like, oh,
and immediately I remember when she started that, my brain just said, "Oh God, please, Toni, no."
But the funny thing is, too, how many times have you heard that started in a show, in a movie, but never completed? She completed it.
Completion, all right.
Yeah. She's the completionist of nothing else. God, I hate myself for saying that.
This, I mean, to be full transparency, it did kind of start a little bit off this 4-way, but once they got cooking, the ladies were showing up to work. They were punching hard. Penelope Ford doing moonsault. Thunder Rosa doing some crazy stuff up the top rope. One of my favorite things, of course, one of my favorite moves that Thunder does is when she uses like a table as a ramp and does a drop kick off it. But this time she used Toni Storm as the drop kick, and I think we all knew Megan Bain was coming, and but Harley with the lead pipe. So where do you see this going? And do you think that this is leading to maybe some? I mean, are we looking at possibly tag teams? Can we get a Thunder Tits versus Megan Bain and Penelope versus TNA at Double or Nothing?
With currently Toni not booked for a title match, I don't see why we couldn't. And I still think they're giving Megan Bain this unstoppable machine type character, which honestly, you should. Why is everyone asking that question? Like seriously, like why is everyone asking this tonight? Was this the whole purpose? Like, did everyone knew I was coming on the show and just had that question saved in their notepad to paste
on
it?
people's minds, perhaps.
And by the way, Cody, who was your arch nemesis? Because I'm trying. Because you said
I I assume it's you.
It's me because you said hi to literally everyone else, and then how am I the arch nemesis? You're not Lad Point.
I will say this about Courtney. She used to be anti JP Harlow until she interviewed him, and then now she's like BFFs with him. So
how that should make her hate him more.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, she says you're her nemesis. There we go.
Wow.
Oh boy. She also asked Angel, why are you so quiet? Now, I
don't know.
This. I can answer. It's because the boys aren't letting you talk. Maybe we should ask you some questions, Angel. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I was just I'm literally just chilling out here. Like, y'all are the guests. I was just letting them talk.
It's all you, Angel. Go.
Yeah. All right.
What? Callie's the best. Tommy's old.
She went to her default.
Yeah. She's like, if all else fails, say this.
Yeah.
Armani Sage sucks.
Okay.
Okay, I'm okay with that one.
I have a bonus trivia question for you.
Oh,
Who's the one wrestler that caused Angel Marie to root for Armani Sage?
His indie name is also a tequila.
Yo, that's such a funny question for those of you. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
good word.
Who is now apparently signed or in the process of being signed, I guess, since WWE bought AAA. I don't know the whole details.
Man, Mind Runner, we do not have enough time for me to go off on that rant again. Let me tell you, because
we got our
Get out! Get out!
I'll
who
tell you what,
says that willingly?
Nobody loves Armani Sage.
He doesn't even sometimes. I'm convinced. So.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Wow.
This was going to be our banger of the week, but then we watched NXT and we said, no, we got a better banger of the week. So let's get to our banger of the week.
Hold on to your Kulos Mission Pro fans. Rock on, it's the banger of the week.
Yo, why y'all got Denise getting attacked in that? What was that about?
I don't. That was Miranda Alizé. Trying to establish herself, and I think she's facing the former Tegan Knox. I think coming up at.
No, she's with. She's gonna be with.
I thought they were facing each other. They're gonna tag.
No,
together?
it's Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé at the free show in like July, the San Antonio Showdown or whatever. They're going against Living in Fashion. They're going up against Devin and Zakai. I was like,
oh, okay.
Why do we have
that's
to
in
put
July.
them?
I don't know if there's another show, but
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not ready for that.
But
I am.
Angel, would you agree though that this Jordynne Grace versus Giulia on NXT had to be our banger of the week?
Yes, 100%. Like, I watched it back because I didn't, obviously, I didn't watch NXT because we were on, but I watched it back and then I watched the AEW match that you had sent me and you were like, oh, we're going to do this as being, like, we should do this as banger of the week. And I was like, actually, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because it just, on a different level, man.
On another level. Big Mike, is it only a matter of time before Jordynne Grace is the NXT Women's Champion, and then they're going to send everybody else to the main roster, or like some of the veterans? Or
I mean, it's kind of hard to think she wouldn't. I mean, that's what's crazy about NXT right now is like you have people that you think should be moving up, like Giulia and like Roxanne, and Stephanie's your champion, and she may be the best women's wrestler in going right now herself. And then you got Jordynne Grace, who's top notch and has been killing it for the last few years. Like, I want to say, like, under normal circumstances, you would say, like, yeah, definitely that she's going to be winning that title soon. But Stephanie Vaquer is at the top of her game right now, so it's hard to call because they're all just amazing, and it's a match I definitely want to see, and I can't wait for it to happen. So
yeah. And Tommy, what do you think? Is it do you push Stephanie to the main roster too, or do you keep her kind of around to help develop everybody else? What do you think?
So my thing with NXT is like I feel like they already had the talent who could carry the women's division before Stephanie, Giulia, and Jordynne got there. I really do. They have just I can stop the list with just Jada Parker, and I don't need to say anymore.
Miss Parker.
Miss Parker. I felt like she was already ready to carry that torch. So I honestly feel like this is more like getting the fans. Well, I can't even say that. I was going to say getting the fans acquainted with them, but Jordynne's appeared in like 2 Rumbles before this, even before she signed. She was in 2 different Rumbles. So it's like, I guess they just wanted to kind of build up NXT as that. I really thought they're just trying to make NXT that third brand. Like they're done pretending it's the developmental, because now they have LFG, which whatever that does, except for make everyone mad at Mickey James. But
your attire is too revealing. And don't look up pictures of me and Daisy Dukes, but
or me and Trish at WrestleMania that one year.
Yeah. Grab them by the. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no, it's like these aren't women who don't come from wrestling already and haven't already had matches that could put half of any current roster to shame. Jordynne Grace, I actually do have a story about her. I actually have known her since she started. Not the very beginning, but around the time she started. She started at Anarchy Championship Wrestling, where I first saw her. But let me tell you, who she was then and who she is now, not at all the same person. She has done amazing growth, amazing power with that. She is just just a force to be reckoned with now. Giulia, we already talked about from Stardom. Stephanie Becker, has proven, that she's ready to be on any main roster. So I feel like I don't quite know why they even started there. Again, I just don't. I get it. It's the company's call, but I just don't understand it. But we'll see. Time will tell. But this match definitely doesn't make the case for them not being on the main roster, because it kind of is like, okay, why are they still in NXT?
Yeah. By the way, I love the pictures here. Yeah, the one on the right, that was such a great photo.
The one on the right is like,
boom. It's almost like one of those Rocky photos, like or they're jogging like this. There were some scary spots. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the match, but there were a couple spots where it looked like Giulia either had a concussion or was dropped on her neck. But apparently she was fine. And like, if you slow it down, she I think there was one spot where she tucked her head instead of letting it happen. But Giulia says she's fine. She cut a promo. She wants to take on Jordynne again. So things are in the works with that. And yeah, the Juggernaut, it's interesting to see what their plans are going to be. Do you think, and Mike and Tommy, do you think they're done kind of really with the crossover with TNA? I was hoping we'd see some more Masha Slamovich in NXT, but does it matter, or are they just kind of got what they wanted out of TNA and now they're moving on?
I don't think they're done. I think they're going to keep doing things like this. It may not be with the these specific people you want, but like you had Moose come over and face Oba not too long ago. You have Joe Hendry and Trick going at it for the title soon.
Wait, who was that you were talking about?
Moose?
No, the other one.
Oba? Joe Hendry?
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I just want to make sure that's who you're talking about.
And everyone in the chat, if you didn't clap, you're lying.
Literally.
No, but I mean, it may not be the people we want all the time, but I think they're just going to keep doing this. And, I think it feels that rumor that WWE is eventually going to buy TNA too. But
which
I don't know, we'll see.
Which sweet baby Jesus, I do not want to happen. Like, I can't stress enough, I do not want that. But Yeah,
let's hope against it. Announced this is Mercedes Moné versus Azumi versus Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa, by the way, is now officially, I think she's officially moving to the States.
Yeah.
She posted a picture on her Instagram that she's emptied out her apartment and now she's here. She is signed with AEW.
Mm-hmm.
We already did kind of touch on Mercedes multi-belts here. Do you think, as far as New Japan goes, do you think that you keep the New Japan strong strap on Mercedes for a while, or is it time for her to maybe kind of like how Kenny started losing his belts after he was the belt collector? Is it time to kind of start spreading those belts around, or is it time to wait for another star to rise and be on the level of Mercedes?
I would personally say wait, because Stardom just went through a shift with Mayu leaving, and with Thekla leaving. So I would say give it a little bit longer. Honestly, if I was gonna have anyone take it off of her, it would be Saya Kimitani, because especially that's right, Tem Nakano retired because of her injuries and whatnot. I just remembered that. We want Mina, who doesn't? But yeah, no, I would wait, because I would really, honestly, I would like to see Saya Kimitani with 2 belts. I would like to see her beat Mercedes and have both the New Japan Women's Championship and the World of Stardom Championship, because Saya, just when people really thought Saya wouldn't find her place after the whole exodus from Stardom, which, I have my own thoughts and feelings about, because I've always had a weird feeling about how all that went down. But it seems to be working out, so you know what? It's all good. If it all worked out, it all worked out. So I think they're gonna wait till they bring a new star. I don't see because if it happens here, I don't see Mina winning it, but I could see AZM winning it. Because she's, I think, severely underrated, even by me. And I'm a fan of hers, but I don't think I always give her the credit she deserves. So I think AZM should, if they do it, it should be her to win it.
What do you think, Mike? You think they maybe should do this at Forbidden Door or something, or like have a moment where that's on the line?
No, I'm going to be contrarian here and say I think it's time to take one of the belts off her. And I kind of agree that if it's going to be someone, it should be AZM. Now, I say this having not nearly as much knowledge about the Joshis as Tommy does in Stardom and all that. But, obviously Mercedes is a big name, and, she's held that for a while. And, I think it's time to maybe put that on someone else and kind of let her get back on focusing mostly on AEW and stuff. So I'm down for a change here.
Angel, are you down for a change, or are you with CEO?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I never liked Mercedes holding all these belts and stuff. I mean, I can understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, she doesn't defend them half the time. So why are we just letting her basically let them collect dust? You know what I mean? I'm like, you can drop the belts now.
Quick question for the three of you. Do you think is she gonna be the one to win the Owen Hart Cup tournament and add another belt? Of course, which that one's not one you defend, but add the Owen Hart. Or is this Jamie Hayter's time? And are we going to get Mercedes versus Athena again for belt ROH versus TBS title at All In?
That's what I thought that's what I think they're going with it. I think they're going to do Mercedes versus Athena again, belt for belt, and I think Jamie Hayter is going to win the Owen, and she's going to face Toni Storm because if for no other reason, I want to hear Toni Storm cut a promo on Jamie Hayter. I mean, I can't express enough how much I want that to happen in my life. I can't.
She gave it a taste when she said, "Listen, Jamie Hayter, you can't go around dressing from another era and make money off of that."
I think there's a phrase I heard long ago, and it's one of my favorite phrases. Whenever I hear something like that, it's that the irony fairy just had a coronary.
Yeah, but in all fairness, coming back as like a 60s, I don't know, like she would have fit in the first Austin Powers movie. It's odd.
She literally would have fit in that 70s show. Like,
yeah, or that.
I was like, is she one of Donna's friends? So
she looks like she'd be Donna. Yeah, if Donna.
She just could be Donna.
Honestly,
right.
I kind of felt like her look and was better the first time. I mean, she's still good at wrestling. I'm just not sure I'm into like this version of the way she is, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, my grandmother has a couch made of the same material as some of her outfits.
Well, there you go.
Now, let me ask you, back at All In London, how many did you when she first came out? was there a moment where you're like, wait, is that Becky?
Yes, 100%.
Like,
Yeah, a
is that
little bit. I
That
got
would've-
kind of got a little bit confused. I ain't gonna lie.
That's pretty, yeah. But I am all for Toni Storm cutting a promo on Jamie Hayter. Maybe they could do a thing where it's you have the film noir and then kind of like a gritty 70s like Tarantino movie, almost like battling those genres, kind of battling back.
Or Austin Powers, like you said.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that's where Tony's gonna show up dressed like Austin Powers or something, and she's gonna do a Dr. Evil kind of thing.
That would be kind of funny.
Should be
Probably.
cool. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been fantastic. We'd love to have you back. And of course, if you don't know, CCG has officially entered the We Love Wrestling Summer Draft, honoring Trey D. Because if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling.
Yep.
Will it be too obnoxious to see this belt over Tommy's shoulder?
Now, wrong question. The question is, will I be obnoxious with that belt? And the answer is yes.
When Mission Pro returns, is Tommy's going to be walking around with this, like, hey, Callie, where's your belt? Oh, look what I got.
I mean,
who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, Tommy the Rock?
All right, when Mission Pro comes back, Tommy. All right, when Mission Pro comes back, we need to make a special entrance for Tommy, and make it like a parody of The Rock. Is cooking.
As soon as I come out, the first thing I do. You failed that.
You're acting like they're gonna win the draft, though.
Ooh. All right.
I'm a part of this representing Mission Pro Spotlight, so like
competition.
And I got me a good teammate. I got Dora with me, so be prepared.
I don't know if they're already, but okay.
But here's the thing. Now, I have abstained myself. I'm the facilitator, so I am just the data tracker, and I'll be updating every week, and I'll be sending you guys the updated stats each week. And just to remind everybody, it's the way that it works is, and I have the rules here. This is the fantasy draft. Each team will draft 8 female wrestlers, 3 of which must be considered an indie talent. And that is defined as not currently signed to any major promotion, AEW, blah, blah. Now, there's a kind of a trick here. Recently released wrestlers who are not currently signed, they're still on their 30 or 90 day. We're going to have the draft before those time limits are up. So they'll technically be indie talent, but they may get signed within a month. If they still get signed, that's fine if you already picked them.
Okay.
We're going to try to get the draft. We're going to work everybody's schedules, and it's going to be a live draft. Only one of you needs to be present, but you guys are going to be working as a team or Team CCG to you decide who you're going to go for. And a wrestler earns a point if they or their team earns a victory. Battle Royals only count if the wrestler is a winner. So, for example, if you choose Masha Slamovich and Masha and Jody Threat are a team and they win, but Jody Threat got the pin, you still get the point for Masha because their team won. We're going to provide the weekly things. Prior to July 4th, they're going to be an extension where you can draft 2 more additional wrestlers and have the opportunity to swap out wrestlers if needed. If someone's just not working for you. This is the pictures of the belt. And just to give you an idea, this is kind of what the rankings are going to look like. Some of the people are already confirmed. We got Lip Gloss and Ladders, Countdown City, Down for the Count, Meet Us in the Ring, Mission Pro Spotlight, Tall Can Listening is going to be in the mix here. And we have 2 other mystery podcasts popping on. And this is just to get an idea of what the template's going to look like. As you'll have your podcast name, and then you'll have your roster, and then those 2 locks at the end will unlock right before July 4th. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a really cool way to kind of continue that We Love Wrestling, to kind of break down toxicity and tribalism and just enjoy wrestling together.
I'm all for
excellent. That. I like it.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will give the floor to you, Mike, and then Tommy, and we'll call it a night. So, any final thoughts or advice, or what are you excited for right now?
Again, I'm just really into our local scene right now. Again, obviously with this weekend, there's nothing really going on. But next weekend, some of you, if you're not familiar, United 210 had some issues after being at the yard after they got on the news, and they were done a great story about them. But they will be at Hybrid May 6th for Handsome Javi Presents. Although he was fired, apparently he's stepping up right now to help facilitate a show, so we'll give him credit for that. And then the 17th is the Hybrid Show. That's also a special show in honor of Don Juan. If y'all aren't aware, but I think most of y'all are, he was diagnosed recently with stomach cancer, and he's fighting that. So the show is called Megalodon, after the Megalodon Don Juan, and it's all the ticket sales and all that go to help him and all his fees. So if you're in the area, you can make either of those. Please do. And again, it's just local wrestling's great. Wrestling in general is great. Yeah, I mean, we have to say thank you, Handsome Hobby, for that. Handsome Hobby, I'll take that too.
Courtney,
thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that.
Courtney,
You have two contradicting statements.
Yeah, notice who she doesn't have on there.
Right?
Old man.
Oh, Jenna, what are you doing? Oh, my goodness.
She's going to get a fight with Courtney now. Great.
Well, Tommy, what about you? What are you excited for? And in addition to the things that Mike was saying, and any final thoughts or words of wisdom or do you have a story about that? That's a new shirt, Tommy, and then I have a story about that. That's the new merch. We got to get Tommy, and then I have a story about that.
Tommy, tell them the story of how many hybrid wrestlers have been at RCW shows when they were younger with you.
It actually is a rather disturbing number. It actually I know I remember specifically these two because I recognized them after they told me. Casey Black Rose and Devin Carter both said, "Oh yeah, no, I used to sit next to you," and I was like, "What?" And then I didn't recognize Devin because of how much they've gone, like how much of the transformation they've gone through. But when they showed me their picture, I was like, "Oh my god, I remember this kid! What the hell?" So, it's crazy how many of the and Key Vibes told me the same thing, and I was like, where were you? So she's like, I was in the back. I could hear you. I heard that a lot. And you know who the story also applies to? Izzy Moreno, because they were at the show where Jim Ross was, and they said they heard me before they saw me. Which, by the way, is how 98% of people who know me can describe me, is they heard me before they saw me.
That's true even on when you're watching live on Title Match Network. When you're watching the Mission Pro shows, you'll hear Tommy laugh, like you'll hear him interact with people before you actually see him in the crowd.
That was one of our favorite parts of like the night after Mission Pro shows, is once everyone was uploading their clips to social media, it's like, oh, I can hear Tommy in this one. Oh, I can hear Tommy in that one. 100%.
I always have the thought that Title Match must hate me so much because every time they say, we had a new show coming from the program this week, guys. Oh, it's in Texas. Please, God, say not San Antonio, not San Antonio. San Antonio, that loud guy's gonna be. We need to have the special chair. Actually, Tommy, you need to be on commentary. I think it'd be pretty cool. We need to have the special CCG section when Mission Pro comes back. I think. I think
we kind of did.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Magic also will want me to be on commentary because then I'm nowhere near as loud. So.
By the way, I don't know if you saw earlier in the chat, Michael May said Tommy for United 210 GM.
Yeah, he did.
And his crazy reasoning, despite what Tommy says about Cali, is that when Tommy did the announcing or the for Mission Pro, the commentary, that he didn't say mean things about her on the broadcast and called it down the line, so to speak.
I kept it professional. Call it right down the middle.
Look at that. That's impressive. Very nice. Very nice.
It also wasn't easy, let me tell you. I had to give her props, and it felt wrong.
Yeah.
But I had a job to do.
You had to take a shower afterwards. We understand, yeah.
There was a lot of mouthwash that night. Let me tell you.
Well, gentlemen, on behalf of Angel Marie, the Mission Pro Galaxy Universe family, it has been awesome chatting with you. We look forward to having you back on again very soon. We love you both. You guys are huge supporters and part of the Mission Pro family. We love you. And what do you got coming up? Any CCG? When can we check you guys out again? You guys special podcast coming up or anything like that we need to keep our eye on?
We just have our same show every week, every Wednesday around 9:15 or whenever I'm not late, and which isn't often. But lately it's been JC. In my defense, lately it's been JC.
That's true. We've had to get started without him.
All right, Courtney. See you later.
See you later, Courtney.
And also, hopefully, before this month is out, I'll get my own gaming streaming stuff started. I'm actually going to be toying with that this week and next week. Huh? Twitch or on YouTube. I'll post all that out pretty soon when I know for sure. If fingers crossed, if I could do both, I'm going to do both, but we'll see. But so hopefully I'll be doing that soon, and I'll let everyone know when that starts.
And we are also looking to line up some more interviews down the road with some more hybrid people.
Yeah,
we've been in talks with them. Also, if you go to Countdown City Geeks on YouTube, there is a whole playlist of our wrestling interviews from the past, and that includes Maddie, now Renson player.
Yeah.
It includes Callie, Casey Blackrose about a year and a half ago, Brandon. It includes Tommy running panels at Comic Cons and all kinds of stuff. So
and riding with Ridley, Ridley Thorne.
Yeah. And also, if you go to Kelly City Geeks on our YouTube and I think for sure our IG page, an interview with Jenna Frank, the daughter of the late great Jason David Frank.
Wow.
So I got to talk to her a couple weeks ago. She me and her met a few times. She's super sweet. I know it's not wrestling related, but go check that interview out. She's doing big things. She's doing big things. Carrying the torch that her dad carried, like with honor and with grace. And I think she just needs all the support she can get. So yeah,
very cool. All right, we're gonna leave with the totally not AI generated promo video for CCG, and then we're gonna call it a night. Y'all take care. We love y'all. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Be good.
Bye.
Thanks.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
All right.
Oh, we didn't.